Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, it appears to be data mining season yet again, this time for Tekken 8. It appears that we may have in the game files the characters that will make up the remainder of the Season 1 pass. We have Eddie Gordo, obviously enough, as you can see here, already announced, but what about the other three characters? So before we get into it, I actually would like to show a statement from the data miner themselves. So first off, this is at Shootmans on Twitter, talking about previous credentials when it comes to data mining during the closed network tests, which I do recall actually, and they were pretty much on the nose. And also going out of their way to note, just because stuff is in the files doesn't necessarily mean it's guaranteed. Look at Guilty Gear Strive, right? Slayer's been in the files since the start, and Slayer has never shown up yet. So while these characters are likely just by being in the files themselves, nothing is ever truly guaranteed. And hey, sure enough, that's exactly it. Being in the files doesn't mean guaranteed. However, being in the files does mean incredibly likely, as I found over the years covering various data mines. So before we get into it, spoilers, naturally enough. So if you don't want to know who is potentially the characters in the Season 1 pass, now is the time to click out. Leave a like if you could, that'd be nice, I guess. But otherwise, let's get right into it. So it appears that the likely remaining three characters of the Season 1 pass for Tekken 8 are Lydia, Facum Ram, and Craig Marduk. And how do we arrive at that specific conclusion? Well, it all sort of starts with Eddie Gordo. Eddie obviously is confirmed, right? We have the trailer and everything. We know he is for sure coming to the game. And sure enough, using Cheat Engine to browse through the game's files, he's in the game's files, because of course he is. And one of the very important things about the game's files is characters that are in the game's files have both their listed fighting style and the country of their origin. So Eddie, Capoeira, from Brazil, sure, gotcha, good. And if you use already existing characters, it would say like Leroy, Wing Chun, from America, sure. So then say for someone like Craig Marduk, in the files, and this is since the betas as well, but in the files, it has here fighting style, valet tudo, and the character is from Australia. Now, admittedly, it doesn't call Craig by name, right? Marduk's not there by name, but the fighting style's there, Australia's there. Like, as much as I would like the Australia to mean it's actually Jeffrey McWild, Virtual Fighter guest charactering in the game, probably not. Valet tudo and Australia equals Marduk, kind of end of story. And once again, these are directly in the game files, and we're going off already established patterns on how other characters work. Martial art plus country equals character probably in the game files, right? Moving onwards, also in the game files, we have a character listed from Thailand, and their fighting style is listed as Muay Thai. Now, again, there's no name listed because the character is not necessarily completely done in the files yet, but unless this is a Sagat guest character, this is probably Tekken's resident Muay Thai kickboxer from Thailand, Facum Ram. Unless they're willing to create all new characters from whole cloth here, this is the only character that fits that bill. Same as Craig Marduk. And finally, for Lydia, no attached fighting style, but there is a character listed from Poland. And for Lydia, that's kind of literally the whole thing about the character is, oh, I'm the Polish Prime Minister. So unless there's another character coming up somehow of DLC that's from Poland, it has nothing to do with Lydia, who is supposed to be a big deal, but I just don't even know. It kind of has to be Lydia. Unlike the other two, once again, no attached fighting style, but who else could be from Poland? Now, all this said, this doesn't say which specific order any of these characters are going to come in, right? Just that they happen to be in the game files. So Marduk could be first, Lydia could be first, Facum Ram could be first, who knows? Or maybe even they could be in the files, but they get moved along to Season 2. Like, as a direct example, Mortal Kombat 11, Shiva. Shiva was in the game files since day one and had like full complete dialogue trees against other characters as well, right? But she did not show up till Aftermath, which was the effective Season 2 of the game. So in the game files, yes, but release dates, release windows, no, we don't know that for sure. And going from the old data mine from the closed network test, right? There's other hints at other characters, although not quite as concrete as martial art and country. Like say there's at least 2 positive hits for Anna in the files of the game, although no context, just literally just her name, nothing else. But that's the news as it stands. I'll link some of the tweets in the video description if you want to check those out. And once again, it's just simply in the files. Like, it's 100% in the game files. That cannot be argued against. just simply, is it gonna happen, and what order is it gonna happen? Once again, for my money, I've covered a lot of these over the years. People say, oh, is it a fake out or whatever? And like, no, in my experience, no, it's never a fake out. It almost always comes to pass. Guilty Gear Slayer is the only example I can think of that never did, and who's to say he's just not been pushed to the future at some point. As it stands, Fakimram, Marduk, Lydia, these are very likely going to be the DLC characters coming up. And as for characters you would expect to be DLC down the road, Anna, Julia, Armor King, probably. Like, Anna's a little bit in the files, I guess, but no direct hits on anything meaty. But, you know, people like Anna, people like Armor King, people will spend money on those characters. And of course, for guest characters, will certainly be a thing at some point in Tekken 8's life. There's too much money on the line not to do it. And once again, the characters being in the file doesn't necessarily guarantee they're all the characters in Season 1, so there still could be a guest character, and maybe Fakimram is a Season 2 character. Hey, who knows? I'm simply presenting you the info as it stands. Make do of it what you will. And that all said, that's the info, so I guess that's the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Tekken.